Hi.
Hello.
You can do the intro today as you're doing your best impression of John Danaher.
Actually, that's quite funny because this morning I had actually run out of t-shirts and I had a nice line of scramble rash guards and I went for it and I nearly fully indulged in the full rash guards.
Did you nearly go out of the door in a rash guard?
I do have a t-shirt over there. I did find one eventually. But we just did a technique, so now I'm in this rash guard. I kind of like it, so I'm just going to stick in it.
Yeah, I thought I'd change into and actually represent the gym.
So today we are going to do a little conversation about body types, okay, and how that may affect your jiu-jitsu, positively and negatively.
Hang on. I vaguely remember you having a comment in a past video where you said something along the lines of body types, yeah, when people talk about
Oh yeah, I'm a massive hypocrite.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to lay that out there.
What did I say? It's out there, so we can.
It was around techniques. It was, I can't remember exactly, but it was something to do with techniques, and you were like, nah, body type. Yeah,
Probably. Let's elaborate on it.
I think there are, for the majority of techniques, body type is not really prevalent. So, arm bars, you know, a small guy or a tall guy. It's just the way you apply it might be slightly differently, but it is essentially the same technique.
Mm-hmm.
Chokes are essentially the same thing unless you've got really short arms. So small women might not be able to choke, say, Jonas or Ben, just because of body type. But that's the extreme edge cases of it.
Yeah.
But realistically, in the majority of things, body type, I don't think is so important.
It's certainly not superior to something like technique, which is like the god of all.
So technique.
Yeah.
But I'm not so. I don't believe the whole body type argument so much. But styles, how you roll, which is probably a better way of saying it.
Yeah. I would agree.
Okay.
In that, if you have noodle arms like myself, noodle legs, maybe explore something like along the lines of a das or a triangle, and you may find you can link those together a little more easily than somebody with T-Rex arms.
Me.
Conversely, if you are more like yourself, shorter in the limb department.
Thanks, Pete.
At least it's just in the limb department.
How do you know that, Pete?
Utilize butterfly hooks and things like, what else did I say? Things like half guard. I do think work a little bit better. Because I feel that the longer the lever in a half guard, for me, I just can't get as much effect on an opponent. I will quickly use my half guard to bring me to something like De La Riva or reverse De La Riva, which allows me to utilize my legs more.
Okay.
Right, so I won't lock down a half guard, whereas I notice people with shorter limbs tend to lock down a half guard much more. Because it's just, they get that real nice isometric squeeze. I don't feel as if I can get that as well.
Yeah. So, as someone, I mean, by comparison to Pete, I have much shorter legs and arms. I oddly find I can get darces on big, tall guys.
Sure.
So even though I haven't got particularly long arms, the darce is a go-to technique. But that's a technique. A little bit more about style. Half guard works well for me against taller opponents. Shorter opponents, not so much. What I find being someone who's a little bit smaller in height, I mean, I'm 5'10", so I'm above the British average.
Get that in there.
But yeah, above the British average. What I find my style is, or styles that suit my frame well, is aggressive passing, chokes, and sort of dominant top position sort of game, and from the bottom, sweeps that do, you're right, sweeps that involve hooks, the butterfly hooks, and stuff like that. Where I don't do well, because I have shorter but pretty chunky legs, is De La Riva, reverse De La Riva. Inverting isn't stuff that works well for my body type. As where Pete can almost turn himself inside out if he absolutely has to.
That's a known fact.
Yes.
Yeah, things like a deep De La Riva hook is going to be difficult for somebody if you haven't got that extra leg length. I know.
Yeah.
I frequently hear people complaining like, "Oh, your legs are so long, I can't pass your guard," and I kind of go, well, try a different tactic then. Don't play to like those outer extremities or where I'm strong. Maybe as you do when you get nice and compact and come through the center line, you're much more problematic. But if you start skirting around the outside, I can just monitor it all day long.
We've played this game, so if we do it actually with Pete. Yeah, sure. This is a good example of it. If Pete's just say, looks up here, right? And I try and I donkey kick my leg back, right? Pete still can engage me, even if I go low and high. See, his legs are that long that I can't get my leg high enough to get past. It's just not going to happen. So I have to do something where I crush down, kick out, come back in, and start compressing and pressure passing everything that I can. So that's so I need to revert to a different technique as I did, or a different way of passing.
Stylistically, yeah.
So that can happen. You can get someone that the passes you've been taught will not work on because they've got the leg length where they can just lie on their back and block your hip either way they want to go, as Pete just demonstrated. That old sort of donkey style back kick.
Yeah, back kick
pass.
X pass, yeah.
Isn't working on Pete.
Yeah.
He's got the length in his legs to block it. At the extreme ends of it, you've got people who are really long and lean, who are probably going to be much better with closed guard, triangles, arm bars, that kind of stuff. Very Roger Gracie kind of style.
Yeah.
And then you've got people who are really short, stocky and stumpy, who literally are going to struggle to even close their guard. They're going to prefer half guard, I've noticed. I have some clients like that. But their actual closed guard is almost like a useless position for them.
Yeah, it doesn't offer as many options.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Another thing I've noticed as well is if somebody is particularly tall, in that sort of above 6'2.5", 6'3", going into 6'4", I roll with a guy who's about 6'4", the sheer weight that's actually in their legs, when that guard comes onto you, there's a lot of weight on there. And if you think about the distribution of your weight as well, it's much more shoulders and around your trunk as opposed to actually directly in your legs.
Yeah.
So if you get somebody who wraps their legs around you and that starts becoming a high guard, and you've got a big portion of weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, you could be carrying an extra 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, 15 kilos on you in leg.
Yeah.
That's going to tire you out.
Yeah, precisely. And that's where you need to, as a competitor or an athlete or whatever you want to call yourself, practitioner, need to start considering where your boons are.
Yeah, because there's going to be certain ways of rolling, either grappling or jiu-jitsu or whatever it is, that styles that are going to suit you and your body type, and those want to kind of become your A game. And then, as we said in the past, do some things you like, then do some things you're not so good at. But you don't need to learn every single technique. Find the ones that work for you and work for your game and your body type, and drill those. Because there's some things, there's a lot of guard inversions, things like that, I can't get working, and they don't suit my body type. They don't do it, and it's not going to be a style I'm going to go to. But what I am going to do is learn as many effective passes as I can, because I'm good in the top position. I like chokes, so I need to have things that get me to those positions. That's my priority. That's my style of rolling. Knee on belly, mount. Yeah, pass guard, smash.
What else? Body types.
I really lightweight people.
That's another one as well. Is weight disparity. I think, in my experience, don't use it as an excuse, because I don't like excuses in jiu-jitsu, but I've found with the over experience, I'd say when you get into 20 kilo difference, that's when I start finding sort of, even if you have superior technique, it's like a stats thing, isn't it? If you have vastly superior technique, it really doesn't matter. But if your technique levels are, 1 or 2 orders of magnitude close to one another, right? But then there's a 20 kilo difference, I find that it's around that spot. The 15 you can cope with, 10 you shouldn't be bothered about, but I reckon 20 kilos, that's a big ass weight, right? Which is distributed across a body as well.
I agree at certain belt levels. Once your skill set gets to a certain level, that shouldn't really be a problem.
No.
So that being the one thing I'm going to say. The other thing is, well, we can give an example of this as well. I won't mention his name because of his job, but we have one guy here who...
Secret Service.
No. We have one guy that trains here, brown belt, and he's light. I mean, he's like 60.
Yeah, I was thinking of this guy too.
67 maybe. His pressure, when he's on top, he feels like a heavyweight.
Easily.
I mean, and he's so tight with every single position, but he's light. Like, I could legitimately bench press him. But I can't get off my back. If he gets past guard, I don't want to be on my back with him past my guard at all if I roll with him. Because he's that tight. So, yeah, body weight to a point can be an issue. But again, it's when you get to the very extremes, 20 kilos plus.
Yeah. You got to always bear in mind, technique is Godhead. Technique is just like, if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, like, technique is the thing you should just be aiming to perfect. You should be aiming towards perfection.
But look at techniques that suit your body type and your style.
Yeah.
If you're someone that likes to play open guard on your back, and also gi versus no gi stuff, like, are there specific, like, be aware of, will that technique translate over both disciplines? Because they're very different. They are very, very different.
Yeah. That too. Be mindful of like who you want to emulate as well. You'll start seeing athletes. If you see like an Andre Galvao, who's sort of again a bit more boxy type, and you're a featherweight. Maybe don't try and emulate his style, right?
You're better off looking at one of the like Meow twins.
Yeah,
or something.
Meows, or one of the Mendes brothers or something like that.
Who do you, out of interest, what kind of, is there any particular person's style you like or look to emulate?
I don't know. Not particularly. In terms of, it's different for different things. Do you know what I mean? Like, because everybody's game is different. I kind of like to cherry pick between each one. So I'd look at, say, Roger Gracie for like the epitome of technique. Like, if I want something which is like
basic
perfect,
but
massively effective,
well executed.
Yeah, I'll look at, and if ever I feel as if my game is getting a little too showy, or like there's some silly moves coming in, I'll bring myself back to sort of his style as like a waypoint. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's always like so. But I would never fully emulate his style because he probably has about 20 kilos on me and is bigger than me as well. Again,
yeah. But no, he is. He's legitimate. I mean, he's 6'5", 6'6".
He is about 6'5". I got a friend who's 6'4", and he's the next time we made him look kind of small, so he's going to be on that 6'5".
So the guy I like to try and emulate when I'm passing is Rodolfo Vieira. If I haven't butchered your name, sorry, I don't speak Portuguese. I don't speak any other language. But his style of passing and some of his judo throws, I look at and I'm just like, yeah, that's how I want to pass. And the fact that he uses like a lot of bow and arrows, a lot of gi chokes, like that's that style I really like to try and emulate when it comes to passing anyway.
In terms of like the footlock stuff, I'd probably look towards Craig Jones, because Craig Jones, he is probably about my build, maybe a little bit bigger-ish, but I'd probably pick up on him, the way his limbs move, because he's quite long-limbed, and before all the footlock stuff got quite popular, everybody was kind of like, long-limbed people, you're just really vulnerable to footlocks. Do you ever remember this? People were saying like, because it's so far away. And vice versa as well, they were saying, because he's so long-limbed, it gives you a massive advantage. I'm like, yeah. It's just positional stuff again, you know. So yeah, footlocks. I look towards sort of Craig Jones rather than like an Eminari, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't really look to emulate.
I cherry pick.
Yeah.
I like to take that and have sort of Hodger as like a waypoint.
So for me, as a style that I enjoy and that I think suits my body type, I try and use is Rodolfo Vieira, and that's about it. I mean, I like to look at chokes from different people. That's probably the biggest thing, because again, my body, I suit chokes. I've got big shoulders, a big back, and I've got a good squeeze on me. So yeah, I'm going to favour chokes. So people styles who more use that.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're about there. We've
No.
on and had to use Google. And
Ramble.
yeah, cool. Done well. Okay, sweet. So please like, subscribe, click the notifications button, comment, message, do whatever you like. Yeah, have fun, be nice. Thanks.